guys want to Beware the Awakening, check out Lunar Feast featuring our Clefable from 𝑑𝑚𝑪𝒗𝒏𝒂𝒏 with the Metronome attack. For 2 colorless, you get to choose any one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack. We have our Hop, Snorlax, and Munkidori to deal consistent damage, with 1 Lillie's Clefairy EX to counter Raging Bolt or Dragapult. We also have our Xatu with 1 Crispin for the acceleration, 1 Rabsca for the bench guard, 1 Prime Catcher, and 1 Boss to target the right Pokemon with our Metronome, 2 Surfer, 1 Switch, and 1 Rescue Bot for the free retreat, 3 Iono, 1 Kofu, 1 Research, 2 Arven, and 1 Jacq for the draw and surf support, 1 Lana's Aid, and 1 Night Stretcher to retrieve our Pokemon and or energies, 3 Hop's Choice Band for Snorlax with 1 TM Evolution, 1 Earthen Vessel, 3 Basic Darkness, and 10 Basic Psychic Energies. So that's all for the deck list. Now let's go for some gameplay and see how well this deck works. First game with Lunar Feast up against Tatsugiri EX with Hydreigon, Cinnabar Lure for Blaziken and the lot. And they actually got Terra Greninja EX as well. So it's gonna be an interesting match. They got the Eternatus deck sleeve. We got our Umbreon deck sleeve, which is actually the wrong one for this list, just because we have no dark or poison type in our deck. Initially we had Marnie's Grimmsnarl though, because I thought it works for, I thought the ability allows you to attach darkness energy onto any of your Pokemon in any way you like, but it's only onto your Marnie's Pokemon in any way you like, which is quite terrible, you know. Marnie's Grimmsnarl is making the game a lot more confined, you know. As I mentioned before, Trainer's Pokemon is really stupid sometimes, but there's nothing we can do about it, you know. We just have to find a way around those cards. Marnie's Grimmsnarl is pretty powerful, but it only works for itself. The ability only works for Morpeko and other Marnie's Pokemon, which is completely stupid. You have to basically attach from your hand or do a Crispin on your Munkidori, so it doesn't work on Clefable, it doesn't work on Snorlax. So eventually we swapped out the Grimmsnarl for Xatu. I think we had a different list that plays the Dunsparce with experience share and counter gain, a couple of reversal energies as well, and a Mila with fire energy Crispin, you know, for Snorlax. So there's a lot of way to go about the energy costs. If you're playing colorless, you know, if their attack requires colorless energy, but eventually we decided to fall back on Xatu just because it's slightly more consistent. You don't need to search for your tool card, you don't need to search for your special energy, you don't need to worry too much about getting the right supporters at the right time, you know. Sometimes it can be annoying if they have the same price as you. You can't play your counter gain, you can't do reversal. But I definitely encourage you guys to try out different lists and your own variation of the combo. You know, really try to break through limits, because this game is getting more and more limiting as we speak. And Mega Evolutions is getting dumber. All those texts is getting dumber. We have Mega Evolution turning into a VMAX now, which is completely ridiculous. Or a tag team, evolution tag team basically. We used to have a Mega effect that ends your turn when you evolve the Pokemon, which is so cool, right? When you evolve this card, when you put this card from your hand to evolve it, your turn ends unless if you have a Spirit Link attached to your EX Pokemon. I mean, they can even do some cool stuff with Mega Stones, like create new tool cards that allows you to attach to EX Pokemons that have Mega Evolutions, and then use the ability on the tool card that, you know, the tool card gives them an ability that allows them to switch the EX in play with a Mega Evolved EX from the deck, something like the Palafin's ability, but with a tool card. And then once you evolve, once you use the ability, after using that ability, discard the tool from play, allowing you to attach a new tool card onto the Mega Evolve EX. There's so many different things they can do for this Mega Evolution thing. I'm just really disappointed by how underwhelming it's becoming. This game is getting more and more predictable. So now, like, instead of the VMAX, instead of the tag team, we have the 3 prize Mega Evolution, which doesn't even require you to evolve onto an EX. It's basically a normal EX, except your opponent gets an extra prize. That's it. Like, you don't need any extra, you don't need a special requirement to evolve it, you don't need like a specific item, you don't need a specific supporter card, a specific stadium, you just need to play it from your hand. Like, how dumb is that? I mean, I bet there are gonna be cards that support Mega Evolve Pokemon, like abilities, effects of attacks, trainer cards, you know, like the old tag team mechanic. Except I'm not sure if there would be enough of those cards and effects that would make the game worthwhile, that would make this mechanic worthwhile, just because we saw what they did with the stellar Pokemon, and there's barely more than 15 cards that allows you to, you know, support your Terra Pokemon, like Terra Crystal, the Sparkling Crystal, Noctowl, Azumarill. Those are the prominent ones, like Regigigas. But other than that, there isn't really much you can do with stellar Pokemons. Like, shouldn't there be more cards to pay tribute to the stellar phenomenon, which is such a big deal for Scarlet and Violet? Shouldn't there be more cards, like more tool cards, more stadiums or something to support or counter stellar Pokemons? Like, there should be cards that block Terra Pokemon's effects, or some way of preventing them from searching and attaching the right type of energies on their Pokemon, like some type of ability that locks them, like turns their energy into fire or something, like transforms their energy. Like, why isn't there something like that? Come on, all we get is a Milotic? That's it? Like, that's super underwhelming though. This game is so fucking lame, like, I can't even. Honestly. I have to get this off my chest, you know? I can't just sit silently and say nothing about this. Like, if you guys don't like what I'm saying, then, you know, just mute the video, because I don't think I can go without saying these things. These things have to be talked about, or at least discussed. I just have to say something about it, you know? It's just part of who I am. I can't just play a game and follow every single rule without question, especially when it's getting tighter and tighter. I mean, we used to have so many abilities, effects of attacks that work on energies, any energy, including special energy, but now everything works specifically only for basic energies, which is super annoying. Like the old Blissey V, do you guys remember Blissey V? That was a very radical card because it allows you to attach special energies from a discard pile. There isn't anything as radical as that in format for Scarlet and Violet anymore that I can think of. Like, there isn't anything that's so crazy, you know? I mean, we have Terra Tatsugiri, but still, that thing needs so much, 3 different energies to work. And if you get your Sparkling Crystal prized, it has only 160 HP. If you don't do it on your first turn going second, it might be dead already. And you are only allowed to play the Tatsugiri as your sole basic in the deck, by the way. If you don't get it as your first active, you might be screwed, you know? If you play some other, like a Buddy-Buddy, you might not be able to bench your Tatsugiri in time, just because there isn't many ways to search for that card except for your Terra Orb and Nest Ball. And if you play Terra Orb with Nest Ball in the deck list, you wouldn't have enough space in it to get your Crispin in time to search for your tool card and to fit in enough Pokemon for you to play your Cinnabar Lure to bench enough of those stage 2s. So it's not easy. Like, that card requires so much, as opposed to Blissey, which is a basic with so much HP, with a really cool ability as well, Natural Cure, and a 1 energy attack that allows you to reattach from the discard pile. How powerful is Blissey V? How radical and how unique is that card? And how, versatile? You can use it for any deck. How versatile is that combo? You can combo it with anything. Like, why isn't there useful EXs that we can play for any deck? I don't want to come across as complaining, but that's exactly what I'm doing, just because the game is so limiting. And you know, there used to be so many fun combos that we can do. There used to be a Reuniclus from Black and White that allows you to transfer damage counters as often as you like between your own Pokemons. Now we get a Slowbro with Strange Behavior that allows you to move damage counters onto your Slowbro, which is a stage 1, which is pretty okay, but then I would prefer to get the Reuniclus back, or the Dusknoir back. The Dusknoir, we used to have a Dusknoir with an ability that does the Baby Alakazam's effect. Now we have Baby Alakazam that allows us to move damage counters in any way we like, but it is an attack though. On a stage 2, we used to have an attack on a stage 1 Meowstic that allows us Ear Influence, if you guys remember that card from XY. We had Ear Influence that allows us to move damage counters on our opponent's Pokemon to another of their Pokemon in any way we like. 1 energy cost on a stage 1 Pokemon. I mean, I don't think I'm being unreasonable here. I just hope that they do better and give us a more balanced game and cards that have more flexibility, more versatility, and less restrictions. Please don't keep restricting cards to only specific types, only like abilities that only work in the active spot, abilities that end your turn. What the bloody shit is that? Like, please stop. Please stop with the abilities that work only in the active spot. How stupid is that? Like, we have a new Archeops coming out for Black Bolt White Flare. An Archeops, which is a fossil, which is basically a stage 3 that allows you to you know, devolve one of our opponent's Pokemon if you have that Pokemon in the active spot. You get to use it every single turn, but only if you have it in the active spot. Why on a stage 3 Pokemon? Why does it have to be in the active spot? I mean, if you want to create restrictions, there could be other ways of doing that. You can create other conditions to make the ability work. If you think the ability is broken, if you think devolving any one of our opponent's Pokemon every single turn is broken, then why not just create a simpler condition, like discard a card from your hand, discard 2 cards from your hand in order to use this ability, or discard the top 2 cards of your deck in order to use this ability. Like, why does it have to be in the active spot? Do you know how difficult it is to switch retreat every single turn? I mean, I get that you don't have to use that ability every turn, but you have to use it at least 2 or 3 times in order for it to be worthwhile. And 2 or 3 times of switch retreating is going to cost you more resources in addition to the ones that you need to evolve the bloody fossil. To evolve a goddamn fossil, by the way, and there isn't any cards to pull out your fossil. There's no research lab yet. I'm pretty sure they're going to come up with something like a supporter card to pull out your stage 1 fossils onto the bench. I think Carolis works on fossil though. It doesn't pull out the stage 1. So I don't know. I'm still not sure how consistent a fossil deck would be, so it's difficult to say, I guess. It's still early days, but my point is, fossil decks are not easy to play, and if you are creating a fossil card with a cool ability, please don't give it that much restriction. Like, it's already hard enough to pull out the stage 2 card, the stage 2 fossil into play. Why do you guys remember the old Archeops? It doesn't even have any restrictions, and it's so easy to pull out from the discard. All you need to do is discard it and then use your Lugia V-Star to summon it onto your bench. Like, there's not much you need to do with that card, and the ability is so easy to play. I don't understand this game. It's getting tighter and tighter, and it's so obvious. And no one's saying anything about it. We're just okay with the fact that abilities only work on certain trainers' Pokemon now. But whatever, the season's about to come to an end. No more trainers' Pokemon after Destined Rivals, hopefully. Like, I can't deal with those cards. Like, I don't know why you guys love it so much. Maybe it's because it's classic, but I just find it really, really stupid. Because it's basically brain rot combos. You don't need to think. There's no thinking involved. There's no thinking that you need to do in order to build different combos. You don't need to, you know, build a unique deck. You don't need to have any personality in order to play this game. You're not allowed to have any personality. You should just do as they say and follow the system. That's how you win games. That's the only way you're allowed to win any games. But yeah, that's my thoughts about PTCGL. Please drop comments below if you disagree, if you agree, if you like hate the game as well, or if you are all for the new trainers Pokemon because it's classic, because that's the only reason we should be supporting the mechanic. So I'll just leave you guys to focus on the game right here. We'll see you on the next video. Have a great one and bye everyone.